I'm just playing around with this cool groove that I just heard from Belton Sutherland, and I want to show you guys this song. We're going to listen to it together, and I'm going to teach you the parts like as we go through it, and then at the end of the video I'll do a slow playthrough in standard tuning. This is basically C sharp standard, I think. We're way down there, yeah. This is really, really low, so it's a standard tuning, but it's down 3 half steps to C sharp. So at the end, we'll do a slow playthrough and standard tuning with the tabs on screen so you guys can play along. But let's jump in and watch it. This is really cool, and I think you guys are gonna like this.
Daughter sleeping.
This is a great slow groove. Okay, here he's going to the 4 chord, which is kind of A7. Kind of back to his riffs over E. We're gonna call it standard position names so you guys can follow along. Here's that B7, back to the A7. So now he's starting the 12-bar blues over again. This is 12-bar blues form. Basically kind of in the key of E, really in C sharp, but we're gonna call it E so you guys can follow along. So he does riffs over the E. And he goes to the 4 chord, he just plays the chord. Here it comes.
But not white made born. I didn't mean
There's the B7, the 5 chord.
I didn't mean no harm.
Awesome. Let me stop it there, and then let's kind of go over some of those riffs. So we're at 143 right now, and we're gonna come back to the spot. But let's go over kind of some of these riffs that he starts off with. All right. So one thing you notice is he's keeping his thumb more or less going on like a monotonic bass, right? He's not doing it straight monotonic like perfectly every time. He's kind of doing, you know, this kind of speed, and then sometimes he'll drop a thumb off just here and there. But if you guys are trying to play along, make sure that you really try to keep that monotonic bass going. And this is kind of one of his riffs. Okay, that first riff, let's listen to that again one more time. Let's start with that kind of bend riff. Okay, that's a good one to start with. So basically, he kind of always has this phrase that he's playing on kind of the E minor pentatonic. So he's using this scale here. Okay, and he plays basically kind of up and down the scale, like riffs kind of like this. But the end of the phrase always ends with this. Okay, so that's that 5th fret here on the D string. And then open to 2nd fret on the D string. Now remember guys, I'm all the way down into C sharp standard. And at the end we'll go through in standard tuning so you guys can try to play along. But that's that first riff. He goes like this. So it's just going, bending that 2nd fret of the G string, then kind of like our ending part of that phrase.
What's up, y'all? So when I was going back and editing this, I noticed that he's adding a little bit more syncopation in there, and I wanted to show you a little bit of updated riff. What he's doing instead of what I just wrote it, instead of this, he's adding like a little syncopation move on the B string here. So that sounds like this. So follow those updated tabs and hopefully that helps clear that up.
Listen to him do it.
Daughter sleeping. Lord, I lost himself.
And this is kind of his other riff that he plays. So it's kind of like he plays these two riffs over the E. That's kind of the one riff, and then the other riff kind of sounds like this. Basically what we're doing there is just going down this minor pentatonic scale. So this is a really tricky riff, and sometimes I notice he doesn't keep his thumb totally going the whole time on that, but for practice purposes, you know, I think it's best just to try to keep it going. Let's keep watching. Let's go back to that spot where we left off. We were at 143, 142, I think.
I want you to love me and leave me good. Anything you want.
There's a cool variation. That was a really cool variation. Basically, we're just kind of, you know, with the monotonic bass. Let's keep going.
Back
to that first bendy riff.
I want you to love me or leave me.
So this is the part where he's playing over the A7 or the 4 chord. Okay. And there, you know, he's just following the standard 12-bar blues. On the A chord, he just goes, he's mostly just chugging along with the thumb. But sometimes he's gonna hit his fingers. On this right finger here to kind of catch some of this chord that he's holding, this A7. The other thing I noticed he's doing is kind of pulsing this with his left hand a little bit, so to kind of keep those short. And sometimes we'll even kind of do like a pull off, kind of like okay, and then after that he goes back to the 1 chord, which is the E, and he's going back to his riffs. So he's always playing riffs over that E chord.
What a strange thing happening.
Back to that.
Someday it might have happened to you.
Riffs over the E.
Why you
Very
say
cool.
you gonna leave me? Said you going away.
So at this part, you know, he's definitely kind of pulled himself away from the 12-bar blues form a little bit, and he seems to be going kind of back and forth between the E and the A7. Okay. Now over the E chord, he's really kind of, the harmony is really kind of E minor. It has that haunting feel. It's not like E major, right? It's more this kind of dark E minor sound, right? So that's really cool. Let's keep it going.
Well, you said you gonna leave me for the maid.
Back to that A7 chord.
Said you going away.
riffs over that E.
I said, lucky to fight you.
Riffs over the E again.
You'll come back home someday.
About to finish it up here. He's gonna go to that B7. There's that A7 again.
Come back some home
It's a really good view of his hand. So he just ends it there like that. So he just kind of ends it there at the end with this. I've definitely heard that type of ending like that. But just the main idea with endings, guys, is just play something to let your audience know that you're finishing. You know, like you could slow it down, or you can do, you know, just something like that, and just give it a pluck, you know, like a hard pluck at the end, and then just kind of let it ring out, and then, you know, your audience will know that you're done. Okay, so this is really, really cool. You know, the way to practice this, though, and the way that I'm going to do the slow playthrough is in that 12-bar form, so that you can interpret this in your own way, the way that I kind of do at the beginning, where I kind of will add a little bit of percussion like this. I think that's a really fun way to play it. Basically, I'm just adding, you know, my standard percussion. I've taught that on a bunch of different lessons. Really, if you just want to play like him, just keep it with that monotonic bass like this. Okay. All right, now we're going to do that slow playthrough like I promised from the beginning. I want to talk a little bit about it before I do it. On the form, the thing about like blues players is a lot of them, you know, like Robert Johnson, or especially with like the Delta blues traditions, they would follow the 12-bar form, but it'd be kind of like loosely followed, meaning that they would sometimes add an extra measure, sometimes even like add extra half measure here and there to like fit the lyrics, or just to kind of fit the groove that they're feeling. And they weren't so strict on the 12-bar blues. However, for practice sake, and when I'm teaching riffs, I think it's really important to try to keep some kind of form in there, because we can't really teach the add extra bar here, add an extra bar here, you know, the third time through, play 6 beats in this measure. I mean, that type of stuff is just, it's got to be played with feel and not really written out. Okay, so what I've written out here is kind of a 12-bar form, kind of following the rules that he is using, meaning it's not 12 bars exactly. So it's almost like a 24-bar blues where he doubles up the first 8 bars, but then later he kind of returns to a more traditional 12-bar blues form. I'm saying all this, guys, to just use this as a practice tool, as a reference for you to play styles like this. I'm going to play it with a metronome very slowly. His original one was clicking kind of around here. This is at 160. Like, and that's kind of fast, right? Let's slow it down all the way to 80. 1, 2, 3, 4. A chord. B7. Going to the A7. Right there is where it would start over. You know, this is just kind of to get you guys going, get you a few riffs,
and introduced a really cool player that I like to listen to, and hopefully you guys like as well. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun showing you this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.